Welcome back to Politics Nation. One of the saddest eulogies I've ever given as head of National Action Network and as a minister was that of A.J. Owens, a 35-year-old Florida mother of four who was killed in 2023 by her neighbor, Susan Lawrence, who shot Owens through a screen door during an escalating dispute involving Owens' children. Earlier this week, Lawrence was sentenced to 25 years in prison, 3 months after she was convicted of manslaughter for Owens' killing. Joining me now is Pamela Diaz, A.J. Owens' mother. Ms. Diaz, first of all, our thanks for you joining us this evening, and I appreciate you doing this, having gotten to know you and A.J.'s family, her children, and you. We know that no prison sentence can restore an innocent life. But I have to ask, what went through your mind when you saw that the woman who killed your daughter was sentenced to 25 years in prison?
Rev, the first thing I thought about was this death, this killing, this loss of life, my daughter losing her life, the children losing their mother should have never happened from the get-go. But I was pleased somewhat with the sentencing in that the justice system did work, that she was held accountable for her actions, although I had hoped for the maximum, but it was a step in the right direction with the 25 years. But again, it just reiterated the fact that my daughter and the children's mom should still be here amongst us.
Now, it brings me to AJ's children, who I've gotten to meet, especially when I came to preach at the funeral, and who were the center of the tensions between the daughter and Ms. Lawrence. Can you tell us what they've expressed about the sentencing?
Israel, as we call him, Izzy, he was the one that was standing with his mom when she was shot and killed. This kid is incredible. So he had a lot of questions, and I tried to be as honest as I could with them, but he was happy. Boy, the light in this boy's eyes. And he said something very powerful. He said he does not fear Susan, even if she was released sooner, because we talk about what it means to have authority over our feelings and emotions, and he will not let anyone take anything else from us. Those were his words at hearing that Susan had been sentenced for 25 years.
Izzy,
yes.
And I met him. You've come and brought him to National Action Network events after we did the funeral and helped the family. This week, you and many of AJ's loved ones announced you will launch a fund to ease financial burdens for families affected by racial violence, as yours has been. You've called it Standing in the Gap, and it will also go toward advocating for legislation to repeal Florida's Stand Your Ground law, which Lauren's legal team invoked in her defense. Our audience may remember that law, which says if someone reasonably believes they are threatened by the use of deadly force against them, they can use deadly force to defend themselves. That was the defense Zimmerman used in the Trayvon Martin case. Can you talk more about why you want to have this law repealed instead of revised?
It's an archaic law, and I feel that many racist people stand behind that law in terms of shooting people of color. There are studies out there that have shown that to be true. And in this case, Susan evoked her standing the ground law, and it took 4 days for an arrest, when clearly that wasn't the issue. My daughter, Ajika, was not trying to get inside of her home. She didn't have a weapon. She wasn't a threat. In fact, she asked Susan to come outside so that she could speak with her. So again, this is just a tool, a weapon to justify unnecessary killings. And unfortunately, it's people of color who are affected by this law.
Now, I met you at the funeral, and we had you come to National Action Network convention and headquarters a couple of times and work with other families. And you've met other families and have really done some real, I would say, partnering with them, dealing with how all of you have gone through this grief. You've started this fund, and others have started funds, none of which National Action Network is involved in the funds, but involved in the fight. How does it make you feel when you are bonding with victims' families that is similar to AJ? Does that bonding kind of, because only you and people that have experienced things like you had to literally relocate from your job to Florida to raise your grandchildren because their mother was killed. You've had other mothers and family members that have experienced that. Do you get strength by dealing with other victims' families?
Absolutely. It's a bond that we share that no one can understand. I will never be able to express my feelings or emotions with anyone as I can with other people who have, other mothers who have experienced this type of loss. Often we call each other and sometimes we just sit there in silence or we just cry. I've cried on the mother of Ahmaud Arbery's, Wanda, many times. The mother of Miss Rovan, the mother of Tyree Nichols. They have held me. We hold each other up. And this is one of the things that I guess I did have to relocate. And it was a struggle. It was something that I wasn't prepared. And this is one of the things that we're hoping that the fund will help other families in like situations, help them with relocation, help them with any type of financial burden, funeral, burial expenses. It's intended to be a rapid response, a rapid reimbursement. But again, this is a club, a sisterhood, a fatherhood, a brotherhood, a fraternity, a sorority that only those who have experienced this can truly understand it.
And you've been courageous and strong as the other mothers and some cases fathers have been throughout this, and whatever support you get, I'm sure you're going to be telling that story along with people like Attorney Ben Crump, who was there with you, and Pastor A.L. Bernard. Pamela Diaz, thank you for being with us. The mother of A.J. Owens, thank you again for sharing this week with us.